Today is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Welcome to Coffee Break with Carlos Michael. The title of today's show, If I Time Traveled from My 1965-1972 School Days to Today's Classroom. Hey there, Coffee Breakers. It's Carlos, and today I'm taking you on a mind-bending, time-traveling journey from the classrooms of 1965 to 1972, which is, by the way, when I attended Orangewood Elementary School in West Covina, California, all the way to the modern world of elementary schools today. Question: what noticeable differences would we expect to see if we traveled forward in time to elementary school today in contrast to our time in school during the mid-60s to early 70s? Well, according to Microsoft's Copilot, the experience would leave us speechless. Let's talk about that right after the break. Hello again and welcome back. Are you ready for a field trip? Imagine we are back in school circa 1960s and early 70s. However, instead of visiting a local museum or library, Miss Filewhacker, the principal of Imagination Elementary School, which is where we go to school, is going to transport us to the classroom of today, thanks to the power of our imagination, where we will compare the major differences and advancements that have been made in the classroom today as compared to when we were in elementary school. Are you ready? Well then, buckle up, my friends, because some of these changes just might knock your socks off. Woo! I am glad that it wasn't a long trip. Okay. Here we are. Welcome to Ames Elementary School, named after my dear friend and former educator, Janet Ames. Please keep in mind that Ames Elementary is completely fictitious. This is all through the power of imagination and creative writing, okay? So, what would we young learners from the 60s to early 70s think about today's classrooms? Let's start with segment 1. Chalkboards versus smartboards. Wait, what? Kids don't use paper anymore? All right, folks, picture this. We walk into a classroom expecting to see a nice green chalkboard. You remember those, right? Maybe a teacher covered in chalk dust and some wooden desks that squeak when you lean on them too hard. That's what we think we're going to see. But instead, we walk in and boom, there is a giant interactive smartboard, not a chalkboard, with kids tapping away on tablets. And get this, no paper in sight. What? Okay, what happened to handwriting? Now, back in our day, we used pencils, notebooks, and the dreaded ink pens that smudged everywhere, right? Today, kids type essays on something called Google Docs, submit them online, and get feedback instantly. Can you imagine? Close your eyes, kids, because I'm about to 360 my noggin like Linda Blair in the Exorcist movie, because that just blows me away. If I wrote an assignment in my day, it had to survive ink spills, eraser marks, and maybe even a few bite marks from nervous test taking or the dog. Today's kids just hit undo and fix a mistake in a second. Get it? Isn't that crazy? The struggle was real for us. Imagine if these kids had to travel back in time to our days. They would have probably thought that we lived in the Stone Age. All right, moving on to segment 2, classroom discipline. No more principal's office fear? Back in our school days, the teacher's glare was enough to freeze you in place. And if that didn't work, off to the principal's office, where you went, where a serious talk and maybe even a paddle was waiting. Back then, we had strict rules. Paddling, standing in the corner if you were bad, sitting in the corner with the dunce cap on, yikes, Although I don't recall seeing that, only hearing about it. Today, educators use positive reinforcement, behavior coaching, and emotional check-ins, whatever that is. If we spoke out of turn in our day, you might get detention or worse. Today, kids have a whole discussion about why they acted out. Call me old-fashioned, but a teacher's glare should still carry some weight. What do you think? Okay, moving on to segment 3, recess and games. What? No dodgeball? Let me tell you, recess was a battlefield back in my day. Dodgeball was an Olympic-level event, not to mention those metal jungle gyms that tested your survival skills, and the jump rope crews weren't playing around. Back in our day, dodgeball, tag, intense kickball matches, tetherball, and metal monkey bars that doubled as a toughness test were the thing of the day. Today, video games, playgrounds made entirely of soft plastic, and some schools even banning dodgeball altogether for being too aggressive are the norm. Can you imagine? Too aggressive. Okay, let's be real. Dodging a ball flying at 30 miles per hour made us stronger. But apparently today's recess is gentler. I guess we won't see kids battling for playground supremacy anymore. Okay, segment 4, school lunch. Mystery meat still around? All right. This is where I need answers. If I travel to modern schools, will I finally escape the dreaded mystery meat from the cafeteria, or is it still lurking? In our day, mystery meat, rectangle pizza, weird jello combinations that looked radioactive served by tank-sized ladies, tank as in T-A-N-K, who doubled as prison guards whose eyes you did not want to look directly into. Today's students enjoy healthier meals, vegetarian options, and kinder, gentler servers, but still have some questionable cafeteria choices. I said kinder with an L, it's kinder. Okay, somebody needs to go back to school. Sure, today's kids get fruit smoothies and sushi in some places, but I bet there's still a mystery casserole in the mix somewhere. Some traditions just never die. Would you agree? Okay. Segment 5, social life. Where are the notes? Kind of makes me think of, where's the beef? Okay, remember writing secret notes and folding them into tiny triangles? And you do know what a triangle is, right? And sneaking them across the classroom? Guess what? Today's kids just text each other, sometimes on their watches. In our day, we wrote handwritten notes and passed them quietly between each other and hoped the note was never intercepted by the watchful eye of the teacher. Today, kids send text messages from their phones right under their desk in response to social media drama all before recess. Imagine my younger self trying to send a note today. Wait, what do you mean you Snapchatted the teacher instead? What the heck is Snapchat? Okay. Some closing thoughts before heading back to the 60s classroom, where I just need to be before my mind blows up. So, folks, would I survive a modern elementary school today? Probably, but I'd definitely be shocked and confused and wondering where all the paper went. Times have changed, but one thing remains. School memories stay with us forever. And honestly, no matter the decade, kids always find a way to cause trouble, to have fun, and create their own adventures. So tell me, what's your biggest memory from your school days? Would you survive a modern classroom? Or would the tablets and virtual homework send you running? 2 last points before we board the bus back home. Fashion then versus today. What kids wear. Fashion sure has taken a wild ride these days. In our days, boys often wore button-down shirts, slacks, or shorts, while girls wore dresses or skirts that were neatly pressed, of course. Today, kids wear sneakers, hoodies, graphic tees, and even Crocs. And don't get me started at how people dress today to go to church, but I digress. Dress codes are way more relaxed today, with some schools even allowing hats to be worn indoors, something unheard of back in the day. Still, I don't have a problem with some of this if the style of dress is tasteful and respectful with modesty in mind, but sometimes I think we get a little too carried away. One last point related to what is being taught in today's school versus our days. The basics, which are math, science, history, are still taught, but there's a big shift in how kids learn. Point number one, there are more group projects and discussions instead of lecture-style lessons, which I think is a good thing, right? Don't you? I think so. Point number two, there is a focus on emotional intelligence alongside traditional academics. Again, another good thing, I think. And point three, subjects like coding and digital literacy are now the standard, which is good considering the pace of technological advancement these days. One shocking change that surprised me, cursive writing is disappearing. Many schools no longer teach it. So kids today may not even be able to read a handwritten letter from the past. That is tragic. I don't understand the reason for no longer teaching cursive writing, and it isn't my place to judge, but there is something to be said about the good old days, at least for me. And cursive writing was part of that. Hey, baby boomers, as the conversation winds down and we reminisce about the days gone by, it's also we should take a moment, to reflect on the values that have shaped us and continue to guide us. Let's not forget the tradition we all grew up with, the commitment to our nation, and the principles it stands for. So, folks, in light of our journey through time and the transformation of our classrooms, let's stand tall and proud as we say with our hand over our heart and God in our heart, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Until next time, love God, pray daily, be a great neighbor, do good to others, share your blessings, bathe daily, change your underwear, and be good to yourself. God bless.